This is a Dreamcast disc and is for use only on a Dreamcast unit. Playing this disc on a hi-fi or other audio equipment can cause serious damage to its speakers.
Dreamcast, up to 6 billion players.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Why don't we play together?
Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go!
Please stop this disc now.
Hello and welcome to the Dreamcast Junkyard DreamPod episode 95. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh no, this is another Kev episode. It's not a clip show. Please stay with us. So I'm joined today. I'm going to go in the order of the way that they joined the Zoom call, just because it will help my brain. And by Zoom, I obviously meant Skype because we don't use Zoom for this. I've got Andrew with me today. Hello, Andrew.
Hello.
Then we've got Brian joining us. Thank you for joining us, Brian.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. Then we've got Mike. Hello, Mike.
Good evening.
Good evening. And then we've got Lewis. Thank you for being with us today, Lewis.
Hello there.
You've struggled against the tide of your IT issues, and you're on the episode. So episode 95 is different flavour to we would normally do. If you've not been following our social media channels, you might not be aware that we are doing a little contest whose name I keep forgetting, despite being the creator, which is the Dreamcast Junkyard Desert Island Discs Fantasy Draft. So what this is a little competition that we decided to get together between us guys here, our friends at the DC Years, our friend PcWzrd Retro Faith is joining us on this as well. What it is, it's a Desert Island Discs mashup, where instead of you picking your favorite 9, 10 tracks, 10 games, 10 books, whatever, you are picking in sequence in a competitive manner against others who are taking part. Have I done a good enough job of describing this, guys?
I think so. Yeah.
So far, thank you, Andrew, because I feel like I explained it to every person I wanted to take part at least 4 times before they understood it. Apart from Mike, who I didn't explain it to at all. I just made a document with his name on and sent it to him, and then was just like, Mike, I've put you in this. Yeah. So we have done the first 12 games. So there are 12 people in it. We've done the first round, and we're just here to break down and talk about that. So with the very first pick of the very first ever Dreamcast Junkyard Desert Island Discs Fantasy Draft Edition, got it wrong already, was Brian, with an I, not a Y. Important context for me, if not anyone else. And Brian, you chose Phantasy Star Online.
I did.
Talk us through your thought process on this.
So I was originally, when you told me I had the first pick, which was like a few days ahead of the draft, I was just gonna pick Shenmue. I was like, oh yeah, of course, Shenmue. That's like classic. I love that game. If I can't be around people in a community, I might as well have a fake community of people to inhabit. But then I realized, like right before I went to post my pick, I was like, wait, I probably wouldn't want to play that game on a desert island just because I've already played it. Like, I love that game to death. There isn't really much more I can see or do in that game. So it's like, well, what's one that I really want to sit down and spend some time with? I just haven't had the time to put in. And then, yeah, Phantasy Star Online kind of came top of mind for that. And there's like a lot of reasons. I think it just checks a ton of boxes as far as something that's like, I don't know, akin to whittling or crocheting, like something that's relaxing that I can just do without having to think too hard. And I imagine on the island, I'm going to be spending a lot of time fortifying my shelter and fishing and foraging and doing all this stuff that I think at the end of the day, I'm just going to want to chill and have something that I can play and have like a slow progression to really work towards something without putting in too much mental effort. And then also just from the community side of it, there's people still playing this game online. And if we have somehow our desert islands are connected to the internet, I might as well use that to great effect by connecting with the community and trying to hang out and meet new people who are also playing the game. And I feel like after a couple of weeks, I'm going to feel like this is not as much of a vacation as it originally felt like. So I'm probably going to want to try to leave the island early, in which case, whoops, I just dropped my phone. In which case, I just feel like connecting with people and maybe getting somebody to call the Coast Guard to get me the hell off the island might be a pretty handy thing. So yeah, Phantasy Star just kind of ticked all those boxes.
Yeah, just for some housekeeping, there is no escaping. It is roughly a 7-month jaunt. But I am happy for someone to bring you takeaway or whatever. There's no hardship on here, so
that's cool.
But
you said
unlimited internet, VMU batteries, all of the stuff that people want. You just imagine that's all okay for you. You just have to stay there for whatever reason.
Oh, that's perfect. As long as I have like multiple VMUs, I can just, maybe I can connect with different or start a new character once I max out.
Everyone is treated to a dream pie should they wish. So that was pick one. Yeah, whether you want it or not, you get a dream pie. So pick one was Brian. Pick two was the Dreamcast daddy himself, and it was Tom. And he picked San Francisco Rush 2049. I'm going to go with my favorite gag. Mike, have you played this?
I have played it. Yes.
What do you think of this choice from Tom? Good choice in the spot.
Just let me read out the note that Tom sent me with a note saying, "Do not disparage San Francisco Rush 2049, or I will ban you from all Dreamcast endeavors for life." It's a great game. It's a good game. It's a sort of a. I'm not quite sure why Tom likes it so much as he does, but it's a fun, futuristic racing game. You can sort of fly in the cars, and the environment's pretty cool.
Let's go with Lewis and Andrew first. Have you both played this? I've never played this.
Tom, don't hate me. I haven't. Is it like Wipeout?
No.
It's probably more like Super Burnout from the images I've seen. Is that accurate, cool. Mike?
Okay. Super Burnout.
Not Super Burnout. What am I thinking of?
Super Burnout's a Jaguar motorbike racing game.
Super Runabout.
That's another game.
Super Runabout. Thank you, Lewis.
No, not really.
Okay.
It's more like, I suppose, the cruising games on N64. That sort of style in terms of sort of arcade. It's just an arcade racing game.
Yeah, well, I mean it's classic Midway formula, right? Where you have set tracks that have a ton of different shortcuts and things to explore, and you even have like coins to collect if you're racing them over and over and trying to find new pathways and routes. I think it's a pretty good pick. I also love the stunt mode, which I personally have spent just hours and hours tooling around with and trying to get the most spectacular flips and spins before just exploding spectacularly in my vehicle. I don't know. I think it's a pretty good pick, honestly.
Okay, well, we didn't get Andrew's thoughts there, but we're going to get Andrew's thoughts on this next game because it is pick 3 was Andrew, and he picked Skies of Arcadia. Or for some reason, I want to go Skies of Arcadia. Does it do that at any stage? I've never played this one neither.
You've not played Skies of Arcadia?
I've not. No.
What kind of Dreamcast fan are you? I don't think it does that now. I haven't played it for a little while myself, but I do not recall that happening.
Just like a missed opportunity, Andrew.
Well, if you want to redub it, I'm sure that somebody in the community will put it over the top somewhere. It's fine. I mean, just to answer the quick question, no, I haven't played San Francisco Rush, and I'm sure Tom already hates me, so it's fine. No, he doesn't. Just to check as well, do we have keyboards? Dreamcast keyboards?
You can have a keyboard if you want a keyboard.
Right. Because if I was Brian, I would literally just be going around the lobby in Phantasy Star Online typing "Help me, SOS" to get off the island. Like, you know, just
people know not to help you. So,
but how do they know? There's so many questions.
I'm starting to feel this is more like a reality TV show as opposed to like a a predicament that we're in. It's just like Love Island, but Dreamcast Island, and there's
where Kev keeps you against your will.
Castaway. Yeah. It's like Castaway.
Yeah. It's not like Mike's Island, is it? Like, I don't want to be on Mike's Island. That was not a nice idea.
Oh, yeah.
The end of the world. Yeah, no. But sorry,
nothing wrong with my island.
I'm just worried that by
happens
Mike's
there?
Island you mean Britain.
So Andrew, if you took the GameCube version of Skies of Arcadia, you might be able to sell it and then buy a boat. So
Sell it to who?
one of
What a desert island.
one of the people there, I don't know.
The guy that's dropping the takeaway.
Exactly,
Hey, mate,
yeah.
do you want a GameCube game?
bribe him. Yeah.
I'll trade you this game for your boat.
Haha, now you're stuck, sucker. But no, it would be the Dreamcast version, right? But Skies of Arcadia is a fantastic game, and I feel like if I'm going to be trapped on an island for a while, I mean, we've got 3 picks, so I'm sure my other 2 picks. It's 3 picks, right? Each, that's correct.
Four picks each, yeah. So 3 remaining from this one, yeah.
Excellent. So I've got chance to get maybe something that's got a bit more longevity. This is a long game, but it's kind of not the kind of game that you play over and over again. But the story in it is fantastic. The worlds that it creates and the characters that inhabit it are amazing. You've got the little town building part where you can go back to your home island and build up your little town. And the ship-to-ship battles are something I'd never seen before. So I feel like if I was stuck on a desert island, it's like a 30, 40-hour campaign. So, I could play it over the course of, if I'm there for this arbitrary 7 months that seems to have come from somewhere, I could play like an hour or 2 every day and be quite content and re-experience that game because it is a phenomenal RPG and one of the very few on the system. So,
yeah. So it's a good. Is it a double disc? This one, or is it a single disc? It is a double disc. Yeah. So. I do know something about it, I guess. We're going to move on then to pick 4. Pick 4 was Retro Faith, one of our guests. I'd like to thank Retro Faith for joining us, and then B, apologise to her for the fact that after she picked Xeno Crisis, which was her pick at round 4, I told her I hated her because I'd hoped to get this much later on into the competition. So bringing people on with my charm, alienating them with my usual personality. What do people think of this? I thought this was a brilliant left field early pick. Yeah,
it's a great game. Xeno Crisis is probably, until quite recently, probably the best of the indie games on Dreamcast, I think. It's just fantastic. It plays really, really well on the standard controller, which is pretty cool. Do we have twin sticks on the island?
Twin sticks is allowed. She checked that. So yeah,
plays even better with twin sticks. Just a really good, enjoyable, fun game.
Who Lewis, or have you played this on the Dreamcast or any other format?
I have not played it yet. Every single month I go, I'm going to buy this month, and then buy, I don't know, another Dreamcast game that isn't this. Intrepid Izzy, that's good. Go play it.
What about you, Andrew? Have you played this?
I have not. It does look great, and I keep seeing it, and it's on that Evercade collection, which looks great.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, of course.
It's Game Pass.
And Game Pass. Oh, is it on Game Pass?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I have no excuse. I have Game Pass.
Yeah.
Okay. But so I really want to play it essentially, and I think it'd be nice to have on the Dreamcast. So it is a great pick, absolutely.
Yeah. So I know it's on Game Pass because it was the Xbox version where I rescued our very own Mike Phelan. Rescued him at Xeno Crisis before stranding him on an island in this situation. Moving on to pick 5. This is Steve from the Dreamcast Years, and he picked Half-Life, or Half-Life, depending on your geographical location in the UK. Let's go round. I'm going to get a snap judgment. Do we think this is a good choice? Just firstly, yes or no. Andrew, I'm going to put you on the spot and start up because he's your boy, Steve.
He is. It's my best friend of 20 years. For the Dreamcast, no.
Brian?
You know what? I've actually never played the original Half-Life.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will circle back around to that after.
I know,
the
wild,
show.
right?
Wow.
I played plenty of games around that time. Like I love Deus Ex, and but yeah, for whatever reason, never played and I played Half-Life 2, but just never Half-Life.
Mike, yes or no?
Yes.
Good choice. Yes. Lewis?
I like Half-Life. Not played this version. I presume the reason Andrew was like no is because perhaps it's not the best version. Is it quite monotonous waiting for everything to load?
Yeah, the loading time.
That would be a very polite way of putting it. He would not get a chance to play any of his other games if he was playing Half-Life. It's a bit of a dog.
So
Great technical achievement, but
if he's on the island for a while, then yeah, maybe it's a good game at least to kill time with. Literally, like just.
I think being a bit harsh on it, really. It runs pretty well, apart from loading times.
It does run. It's not like Magic or whatever it's called that was forever crashing. So.
Or Half-Life 2 on the Xbox. Yeah, it's not sort of it's not downgraded massively. It plays pretty well. I love the original Half-Life on PC, but it's a pretty good. It's got Blue Shift on it. It's got some really cool bits in it. Apart from loading times, which fill up your VMU after a while, but you're on a desert island. You're not going to do for 7 months, so the loading time's not going to bother you that much.
Not a problem. Yeah. Does it have opposing forces as well? Was that on the?
No, but you can get it because you can get most Dreamcast mods or add-on packs. You can get Dreamcast versions of, so you can play opposing force on Dreamcast.
Okay, there we are. I'm going to move on to this next one because I feel like we might have a bit more to say about this. With a quite frankly brilliant video with a 6-pick. It was PcWzrd, and he has taken Shenmue. So maybe some people would be surprised to see Shenmue still on the board at 6. I'm going to start with Brian. You considered this game, yes? You said?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd say it's one of my favorite games. But I think the reason I don't know, if we're only on the island for 7 months, I realize that maybe I don't necessarily need to bring my favorite games. So I love Shenmue. I would definitely bring it if it was still on the board in round 2. But yeah, it's a great pick for sure.
So Andrew, you were at pick 3. Did you consider Shenmue at all, or?
I did. Yeah, it was going to be my first choice, and I kind of thought, somebody else will definitely pick this, and I could pick some kind of not so kind of usual, like we said, Shenmue's usually at the top of any Dreamcast list, right? So I was like, I'll pick something a little bit different. So I'm glad it's there. Annoyed that I didn't get to pick it, but there's still Shenmue 2, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then Lewis, I know you're a Shenmue. I don't know what the collective is for the people who like those games. Would you have taken this had it not been taken by Wizard?
I'm not gonna answer that because it might be spoilers.
Okay, so, no problem.
But yeah, this is obviously a good game for killing time with. But the thing is, I feel like I've played it so many times that kind of just I thought I'd probably want to play a game that was a bit more fresh to me, perhaps, or one that I've not played as much, which obviously we'll get to. So yeah, great game. And great pick though, of course.
And as we discussed off air before, it's a good way of getting some stealth games in there because you've obviously got Space Harrier and Hang On, is it? Hang On? I can't remember what the actual title of the bike game is. Plus all the collectible nonsense.
That's true, actually. Yeah, you've got more than one game in Shenmue, haven't you?
You've got that terrible version of Pull where you can only take like one shot, isn't it? Which is very odd. So there we are. So
you could use the jukebox, just like chill. Yeah.
Solid choice from PcWzrd. And again, thank you for joining us. I did not tell him I hated him because I'd learned by then to stop being rude to our guests. On to pick 7. Lewis, you picked D2. Now, this is not a type of battery. It is some kind of horror game I have never played.
Yeah.
Can you talk me through what this is and why you've chosen it?
Yeah, I thought the best thing to do when stranded on a desert island, presumably that's boiling hot, was to pick a game which features a character being stranded in a different climate, in this case a snowy one. And I just picked it because it's a game I've played before and thoroughly enjoyed. It's like probably one of my top 10 games of all time, like top 5 on the Dreamcast. And I keep thinking I want to play it again, especially recently when I've been writing a lot about D2 and stuff like that. So, it's just really immersive, and it's like one of them games where you play it and you really feel like you're there, and like it has a really good effect. It looks good for its age. The music and the sound design is really great for, like I've just mentioned, the immersion. And yeah, there's just so much stuff that Kenji layered this game with that, you could probably just sit there and scroll through the the pause menu where it like collates just loads of different like little fact files about, you know, the Millennium Bug and Dolly the sheep and all these weird things. So you could just, you know, just chill there and do some reading as well. Yeah, really good game. And yeah, I was a bit worried Andrew was going to pick this. So sorry, Andrew, if this was going to be your next one. I had a feeling.
So this was a tactical blocking move, was it?
I think so. Yeah, I kind of felt like if I didn't pick this, Andrew would.
I've like I said, I've never played these, but I do appreciate the passion with which the people who like them always talk about them. So that I do find that interesting. Moving on then, pick 8 was myself, and I took Soul Calibur. So you could say I've got the best game so far in the draft. Yes or no, Mike?
No.
Oh. Anyway, yeah, shameless bragging aside, there's always that one person in the draft who's like, I've already won the draft. Obviously, I picked this because it's a great game. It looks fantastic. It's got longevity on the island. I might finally be able to complete all of those single-player missions in Tower or whatever it is called. Also, if I find a coconut, I could maybe get to play 2-player with me or something like that. Teach it to be able to move the buttons around, whatever. Let's just check in with people then. Was there anyone else who was surprised that Soul Calibur was still there? Because I was a bit surprised. I thought this might have gone early, and I know it's hard to kind of guess people's tastes, but had anyone else considered this on their list of games they might try and grab either round 1, round 2? No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised it went in round 1. I couldn't tell you who was going to pick it, but I assume somebody was. So yeah, glad you're able to snag it, Kev.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, there we go. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit like I hadn't really thought about my own pick. I'd been so busy wrangling everything else. Then we're going to move on to Jason, another Dreamcast Years, and he did not pick Project Gotham Racing, as I keep tweeting out, because that's not even out on this console. Yeah. But Andrew, he did pick what game?
He did pick Metropolis Street Racer.
He did pick Metropolis Street Racer. Sorry to the Dreamcast community, but no one has picked me up on that. This is a great pick. I considered this because I'm no good at this game, and I was thinking this would be a good one to take away. What do we think about Jason's choice here? Brian, you're a race head in terms of being good at race games. Do you like this pick?
Oh yeah. Yeah, MSR is classic. I mean, I feel like the campaign is so long with so many different that variation of races versus kudos versus best lap time challenges. I think there's just a lot of meat on those bones to get a lot out of repeated playthroughs of the campaign mode. So yeah, and then plus the soundtrack, you can just, I don't know, could you just put on that and just listen to it in the background while you're chilling on the island? Because that would be
as long as you're not playing it on your island provided hi-fi, because that would be bad for the speakers potentially. So, yeah, just play it through the TV. Yeah, that's fine. Andrew, where did you see this coming? Is this a game that you could have predicted or put on a list of 5 if you were going to try and predict Jason's pick here?
See, I know Jason fairly well, but I don't know his Dreamcast tastes yet. He's new to Dreamcast Years, so that's not something we've quite got into. So I didn't get this from him. I think that this is smart on his part because I think Tom would have picked this at some point if he hadn't. And it's a great game. Also, should we all have MP3 VMUs? The things that never came out, because that feels like it's Dreamcast related. We can listen to the music on those.
Yeah, I feel like Island Technology will allow us to have them. No problem.
Okay.
And it's the online mode's back on this. I don't know why I went to Lewis specifically. But
yeah,
it is back online, isn't it?
I presume so.
Leaderboards.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, so there's a nice angle there. You could maybe try and get yourself number one on the island, if not number 1 in the world. Then on to pick 10. It was James Jarvis, one of our video YouTube streamer guru people, who's always helping us out and answering our questions. The audience might not see how many questions he answers for us on certain things, but always appreciated. And he has taken House of the Dead 2. So CRT and light gun will be provided, and a rumble pack, should he wish. What do we think of this then? Andrew, like this pick?
It's a good pick. It's a short game, right? So it's gonna. I mean, unless you really like shooting things over and over again, the enjoyment you're gonna get from this on the island for 7 months, I feel, might wear thin. But yeah, it's a great game. Like it's an amazing game. But I just worry. I worry that he's gonna get bored of it very, very quickly.
What, Mike? What's your thoughts on James Jarvis's pick here?
Yeah, it's a classic game. It's a game which, you want to relieve some tension on the island. You're just striving for survival every day. Shooting some zombies in the face, I think, is a perfect way of chilling out.
When you've had a hard day shaking coconuts out of trees and dodging them
Exactly.
as they fall, what better thing to do than blast some zombies?
Exactly.
Right, yeah, excellent. So we'll leave that there. We're going to move on to pick 11. It's another one of our Dreamcast Years guests, and it's Rich. And he picked, and let me clear my throat for this, Hydro Thunder. Now we're going to start with the important question. Lewis, marks out of 10 for my midway announcer voice.
11.
I've really hurt my throat. Could not have done that. Might have to edit that out. I know Mike, and you like this game, like myself. It's a surprise to see it off the board in round 1, but it's a good game. It's a decent game. What's your thoughts on this pick, Mike?
Yeah, it's a great pick. I think High Defender's one of the most underappreciated games on Dreamcast. It's just really fun. There's loads of depth to the game as well. Loads of stuff to do. I know there's not much. Doesn't look like there's a huge amount because there's not many tracks, but there's so many things you've got. There's a couple of Easter eggs in the game to find. It's a really fun game.
Wouldn't you wish that you had one of the, what is it, like a hovercraft or something? I can't.
Yeah. Yeah,
I wish you had one.
I mean, I'd wish I'd have Hydro Thunder Hurricane on the 360, because that was the sort of semi remake, which was a fantastic game. But,
talk about games you could play forever. I think that's one of the few games I dumped hundreds upon hundreds of hours playing online.
Fantastic game.
Sorry, go on, Brian.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying, even the original Hydro Thunder, I think I mentioned it in a write-up I did a while back about the Dreamcast launch games. But what really surprised me about this is I can keep coming back to it every few years and continue to discover new shortcuts and new ways to shave time off of my runs and to do better and better. And so, it wasn't until fairly recently that I actually finished and unlocked all the courses. I think I got stuck on the Egypt course for a long time before I figured out how to optimize some of those the strategy there. And I don't know, there's, as you were saying, there's just so many layers that you can spend a ton of time, even though it's a pretty faithful, maybe to a fault, a faithful port of the arcade game with very little additional content, but when it's designed as well as it is, that almost doesn't matter. So I am also surprised it went in the first round, but I'm not surprised that it was picked.
Andrew, and I mean this in as polite a way as possible for you to answer, does this feel like a very Rich thing to do?
An incredibly Rich thing. Like this, Rich loves this game, and I was not surprised at all that he picked it. It's he likes his left field choices, and although it's a really popular game, it like Mike said, it's kind of often overlooked. And I think Rich has a bit of a history with this game, and he loves it. So it really doesn't surprise me. Definitely him.
I do like a nostalgia pick, or if we were doing a Saturn version of this, and I had a pick, and I picked Sega Rally, and Brian was like, why did you pick this? What other free games do you want? I'd be like, I don't need another free. I'll just play Sega Rally every day. So I did wonder if Hydro Thunder was his version of that. And then we're going to move on to the final pick, last but by no means least. And this was Mike. Mike, could you announce what game you picked, mainly because I don't know the actual title for it, and tell us why you have picked this?
So I picked Le Mans 24 Hours. Or Test Drive Le Mans in North America, and the reason I picked it is very simple. It's a game which you can play for 24 hours. and really put the time into it. It's my personal favourite game on Dreamcast. I'm very happy no one else took it, but I'm not surprised. It's just a really enjoyable game, and you can really sink some time into it and do the game justice, which I think we'd all wish sometimes we could do for games, but our lives get in the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. People can't see this, but I'm nodding my head profusely. Like, what a good point, mate. So go on, Brian.
Oh, I was just saying this is the one pick of all the others that I was really hoping would be there in later rounds, because I would have picked this absolutely. So, but yeah, Mike, totally agree. It's a fantastic game, and it's one that also I think Kev, way back in the day, you did like a challenge on the Facebook group, and we, a few of us were just having a go at racing the Le Mans course, and I hadn't really played it too much before then, but then I really got into it, and just and then like that process of just shaving seconds off of my time and getting better and better and better was incredibly rewarding in a way that I think the best racing games can accomplish. And Le Mans is just fantastic for that. So yeah, you really could just play it forever and still enjoy it, I feel.
Yeah, but definitely. This is one of the games, and there's a few games like this that I bought purely through other kind of Dreamcast Junkyard staffers constantly talking about, like, I love this. So when I finally saw this in the retro shop near me, I was like, Mike never shuts up about this game, so I'm going to buy it and have a go. And I was really glad I did. Like they said, that competition we ran was fantastic. Andrew, have you played this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. At one point, at some point in the future, I want to do an actual 24-hour run, whether it's for charity or whatever, just something to spur me on. But it's an incredible game. It plays so well. It is absolutely one of the best racing games on the Dreamcast. And again, I'm glad that Mike picked it, because it's a great choice, but also mad because I can't pick it. So.
And Lewis, I remember last time we spoke to you about this, you'd never played it. Is that a memory that's correct?
But obviously everyone loves it. I've definitely heard Mike and Brian wax lyrical about it before. Same with Hydro Thunder, again, just a game I never got around to picking up, but Rich really sold it to me. And I suppose it's perfect time to listen to Dreamcast Years crossover with the DreamPod. It's was it like episode 89 and 91 maybe, but yeah, both I think you, Brian, and also Rich wax lyrical about Hydro Thunder and Le Mans. So yeah, maybe want to buy it, but I've just not got around to it yet, so I will one day, promise.
My memory is it's one of the cheaper, more affordable, really good games too. So that actually brings us to the end of the very first round. I wished I had some kind of sound effect planned, and by sound effect planned, I mean a silly noise that I was going to make to announce the end of the round. And how this is going to work is we're going to then go on to round 2 in what is called a snake order. So everyone who has just picked will be picking near the top of the round. So it's going to start with Mike. And before Mike gives us the first pick of round 2, his second game. So the order will go Mike, then it will go Rich again, James Jarvis, Jason, Kev, Lewis, PcWzrd, Steve, Retro Faith, Andrew, Tom, and then Brian. So Brian went first, and he'll be second. And then from the third round, he'll be first again. So Mike, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to give you the floor. I'm going to let you give us your game, and then hopefully I'm going to give it a kicking, because that's what I do.
Cool. So when we were talking about this draft, it was made very clear to me that we can't pick a game which has been chosen before. Different versions can't be chosen and things like that. So I'm sort of cheating a little bit here. It is a different game, so I am sticking to the rules. But I'm going to pick in the Typing of the Dead, which is probably my favourite game ever on anything at all. PC version I played originally, but Dreamcast version as well. I absolutely love the game. It's just incredibly good fun. It's completely different than Le Mans in terms of there's no sort of massive depth to the game. There is some depth, but there's not massive depth to the game. It is just unwinding and blasting zombies with your fantastic use of typing skills. And it's just I think I'd probably say it still remains to me the most fun game on the Dreamcast, which holds up as well. It's still as enjoyable now. I think Xenocrisis came very close to beating it. That's how good I think Xenocrisis is. But Typing of the Dead for me still is the most fun and just purely enjoyable game on the Dreamcast. So I had to take it with me.
Is anyone want to come in and say that they're really mad at Mike for taking this?
No, I just want to ask Mike a question. Do you know if the text that you have to type out each time you play through varies? Because that would be a very good sort of that'd put it one up on House of the Dead 2 if it varies every time you play it, if there's different words to type.
That does. Are they called dictionaries? You can unlock different dictionaries, can't you? Or different
more replayability for sure.
Yeah, it's
good pick.
There's lots of other things. There's typing tutor modes as well, and it's just I suppose you have to have a keyboard with you. The keyboard's very useful, as Brian has said, to contact people if you need to go online. Fantastic. But the real use of a keyboard, let's face it, the only real need for a keyboard is to blast zombies. So if we're going to have the keyboard there, we might as well use it for this proper use.
True. Andrew, what do you think of this pick?
It's a great pick. I don't know. I feel like this is almost better than the actual House of the Dead 2 because, if you've got a lot of different, like you say, libraries and stuff, dictionaries, or whatever, to go through, then it's a lot of variation. And I've never played this, so I would love to, but I know that it's incredibly pricey now for the Dreamcast, unfortunately. But yeah, it seems awesome. Great pick.
Yeah, I like that. And Brian, what do you think of this?
I've actually never played Typing of the Dead, but I'm curious if like the words that come up, if they like tell a story in their progression. Because that would be kind of cool.
Absolutely not.
They're just like nonsense gibberish phrases.
Yeah, which is about the same as the cutscenes would give you anyway. So
the cutscenes are having a Dreamcast backpacks as well is always fun. But I think on House of the Dead Overkill, Typing of the Dead Overkill, sorry, they did a Typing of the Dead version of the Wii and PS3 game. I think there was some kind of story mode to the words there. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've played it, but I think there was something in there where it's sort of the words related. No, Typing of the Dead and Dreamcast, I mean, you'll get sort of rose petal come up when you're trying to fire a zombie dog. Just no relevance at all.
Yeah, you can also kill a zombie with like the word herpes and
yes,
I think smegma comes up. Is it smegma?
It's smegma, yeah. Smegma.
Yeah. But yeah, Andrew, I actually picked this game up, the American version, for £30 recently. So you just have to be patient and find the right deal, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. That's a strong pick. I can't criticize you for that. Although I can nag you while you were playing it, like I famously did at Play Blackpool. I was very upset. I couldn't get out of teacher mode at seeing Mike's two-finger typing. I was just there needling. Come on, Mike, stretch your fingers out. Get your pinkies out. Leave me alone, Kev. It's like, don't. I like that. So we're going to then be moving on to Rich. We've not got his pick live. He'll have made his pick by the time this Dreamcast DreamPod comes live, or you can download it. Andrew, would you have a guess? Would you be willing to have a guess at what you think he might pick?
Oh, what might Rich pick? I mean, he is a lover of Shenmue, so it wouldn't surprise me if he picked Shenmue 2. It would be the smart move because I'm sure a fair few people would pick that. So that's what I'm going to go with Shenmue 2. I think that's what he's going to pick.
Okay, so there we are. There's a prediction from Andrew there that Rich may go Shenmue 2. I think that's. I don't know enough about his games taste, but I would not be surprised if that is not there by the time it gets to the end of this round. Mm-hmm. So that just leaves us to do our kind of wrap up and conclusion. And I'm going to go around. I'm going to start with Mike, just because his name is in front of me on the screen. Mike. Do you have any closing thoughts, and as part of your closing thoughts, do you want to tell people, give us the podcast ending spiel that's on every podcast? Who are you? Where can we find you?
So obviously cheers to Kev for putting this together. It's been good fun. I think everyone's quite surprised by some of the choices that haven't been made yet. But yeah, good stuff. Where am I am Mike, and can be found on @SpaceTurnip, @Space_Turnip on Twitter. I can also be found at Dreamcast Pics on Twitter. But there's nothing good up on that Twitter page at the current time because I'm way too deep into moving house to have any sort of time to do that.
Is that why your copy of Samba de Amigo was on the floor?
Yes.
Tisk tisk. Right, Brian, if you could give us your closing thoughts and your whereabouts.
Yeah, just quick closing thoughts. I mean, I think there were some quintessential Dreamcast classics that went in round one and a few surprises, and I think that's what makes it fun. Otherwise, I can be found on Twitter at Virtua Schlub, and I'm also on the Saturn Junkyard's Titancast podcast, and I have also been doing some stuff with the Dreamcast Junkyard here and there, including the book club with you, Kev, and Mike. So those are a lot of fun to do. And yeah, that's about it. Oh, I also have a personal blog called The Virtua Planet, where I ramble mostly about other non-Sega stuff or Sega stuff that appeared on, GameCube or other consoles. So yeah, check that out.
And then let's go to Lewis. Lewis, your closing thoughts, please, plus anything you would like to plug.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned for a second, Kev, that you were going to be like mega prepared and you're like, right, here's Rich's pick, here's James Jarvis's pick, and we were going to go through it. And I was actually just racking my brains this whole time. Like, I've got to think of something. I've not thought of this yet. So,
sorry, I'd only mentioned that we were doing the live pick with Mike. So yeah, it was going to end there.
But my confusion has obviously kick-started that thought process. So I suppose that's a good thing. You can find me on Twitter at LewisJFC. I'm also on the blog, and just recently wrote the Intrepid Izzy review. And also, I run the Twitter for not DJ, DC Junkyard with Mike and Kev. You sometimes join in, and yeah, that is pretty much me. So yeah, I am looking forward to the rest of this fantasy draft.
I really wished I'd workshopped the name. Andrew, if we get you to close out for us, then please.
Sure. No, I think it's a great name, and if we keep doing it year on year, we can just add another word to the end of it each time.
So it just gets longer and longer and longer.
Longer and longer.
We could have done fantasy spelled PHA.
True.
like Fantasy Star, but
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted the island thing in there purely so I could include Dinosaur Island from Blue Stinger. So no one else seemed to appreciate that.
Oh, I did.
I knew you would, Brian.
But yeah, it's great. I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to. I'm low down on the next list, so I'm worried now what I'm going to pick and if it'll be picked first, but by somebody else. But no, it's great. I'm more curious, to be honest, about the whole island situation. What's happening? I need to know, like, how did we get there? Why is it 7 months? Like, we need to have some kind of story going on here.
I can tell you a story about the island if you want, Andrew. We're not going to like it.
Well, I won't like it.
No, you know me and my stories about islands.
Okay, let's skip past that then. But yeah, I'm very excited to keep going. And as for where you can find me on Twitter, I'm at Oddment84. Of course, you can find me, Steve, Jason, and Rich all at Dreamcast Years. We're going to be launching our second season next month, which will be October if you're listening to this in the future times. And we have lots of cool new stuff, including some new theme music, which I'm very excited about. And you can also find me over at Lost in Cult, where I'm the editor-in-chief of the gaming journal Lock On. So take a look at that too.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I have backed that now, which I'm putting out here on air just so you have to thank me publicly.
Thank you very much.
Like I have achieved something there. Thank you very much. I know you don't have to say that. So looking forward to when that will arrive. And then I have created a secret Twitter burner account, but I'm not going to share the address yet because I'm not sure how much I'm going to commit to it. But if you look around, you will find it. But you will find us the Dreamcast Junkyard. If you type that in, you will. The Dreamcast Junkyard followed by anything to do with the Dreamcast, and you will probably find an article that Tom has wrote in the at some stage in history, or you can find us on Twitter at the DC Junkyard. I think that's right, Lewis. I'm just realizing I should have written that down. Or you can find us at the Dreamcast Junkyard on YouTube. And then we mentioned the book club before. If you've not checked that out, once a month, usually the last Thursday of the month, so it'll be Thursday the 30th of September, myself and some of the other guys get together and we talk about a game. We've not picked this month's game, but we will push that out soon. It'll probably be one of the ones from within round 1 or round 2, if I'm going to be honest, which was why we've not announced it yet. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for anyone who's been following along or who's joined us with this. And I look forward to potentially discussing the final games once we've got them all in. And just to let you know what we're going to do then, they're all going to go to a vote. So we're going to see who has picked the strongest island. Whose island would you want to live on if you were going to go and visit them for these 7 months? So thank you very much. Everyone say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I said
Ciao.
everyone, not just Lewis. Oh, God. We're going to have to do that again sometime and edit it in. No, thank you very much, guys, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
This is a Dreamcast disc and is for use only on a Dreamcast unit. Playing this disc on a hi-fi or other audio equipment can cause serious damage to its speakers.
Dreamcast, up to 6 billion players.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Why don't we play together?
Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go!
Please stop this disc now.